Today is Saturday, 125, December 8th, and I want to continue. I guess this will be the final trials and tribulations. Um, there's so many trials and tribulations, man. What was it? Oh, I got two stories. First story was when I came back, when I moved down to Virginia, right? My homeboy Andre told me that it would be a lot easier if you move down here because you get on the radio and you can you would you can make it down here easier, you know. So I was like, you know what, I'm gonna have to take the risk. And at that time, I was in a relationship with Kim, and I lost my job because I didn't give the no, one of the guys who I was working for took the wrong med. It was one of the medications that they weren't supposed to take while I was giving meds. I had the meds preparated on the table instead of doing it separately, one at a time. I had by one, so I had the meds preparated, and I was going to get um, his med as after I was feeding him. And one of the other guys went. They usually self-medicate themselves, but he took that one thinking that that was his water. And it was, one of those where you makes you go use the bathroom and all that stuff. So I ended up losing my job because of that. Because I could have lied, but I don't lie, you know. And I lost my job off that. And at that same time, just to give y'all the background of where I made my mistake with Kim was I cheated for the first time in my life, but I cheated and everything, and I know that I didn't lie to her. I told her the truth, and that's what messed up our relationship after that. And then I lost my job. So me moving down to Virginia, it was kind of letting her feel like, okay, now I don't have to be in a relationship, whatever, like that, like as serious because I'm still hurting off of what you did. So I kind of was the only one feeling something, like feeling hurt and all that stuff by leaving. Her, she was feeling, I guess, freedom because, when you get hurt, you got to move on, right? If you make that decision. And, me being up here, it's harder to move on to make that decision. So, moved down south and trying to find a job, right? I was filling out applications every day, going different places. And I went to 7-Eleven, mad places, just shop this and that. So I ended up getting a job like a month and a half later. It was at 7-Eleven right around the corner. And they started me with the wages of $8. But first they fucked up. Was they started me at the wage of what was it? Like $4. And they was paying me off the books and they messed up. So they asked for my check. I could have sued, but I'm not grimy like that. They ended up giving me my recoup money after, but that check could have been something I could have sued and brought to the state and sue them and get some money out of them. But whatever. I end up going to well, oh, my homeboy used to give me like $20. So with that $20, I used to buy CDs, like 100 CDs, and I had written on the CD, um, you know, a number, my phone number at the time, and a number, like the number of CD I was up to. And I used to burn these CDs on Kim's old computer that she let me hold, right? So I used to burn 100 CDs, and that's all I did all day. And then after I burned them, I would dress up, and then I would go out to the street. And anybody who's youth, I would tell them, I would be like, "Yo, this is my CD. I have a contest where you can win $100. No, not $100, $1,000. I have a contest for $1,000, and if you can memorize a full song completely correct, right, or for any track on this album, this is the hustle that I had." So I was like, if you can memorize one song, and I picked the song, and it was 12 songs on there correctly, I'll give you $1,000. We'll put it on YouTube if you're the first person, and that's it. And I will come to you. I'll come as soon as you call. You tell me where you at. I'm gonna find a way to get to you, right? So me, I thought that that would be a smart way to make people listen to my music repeatedly to understand what's going on, right? I had a couple people call, and it was like, "Yo, is this true? You gonna give $1,000?" Like, yeah, I'm gonna give you $1,000 if you can memorize one song. And it's like, yo, I understand why you said that, man, because it's kind of difficult to understand you. So I was like, oh boy, here we go. So I ended up getting tired of down south. At first, I was lonely, you know. Um, I could have stayed down there and got a house, but I was lonely and missing Kim. We was going through some changes at that time. Oh my Jesus, I was such a selfish boy. But when you're immature, you don't know no better. So anyway, I moved back up here, and the real reason why I moved back up here was because of Kim, and I was just tired of not living without her. Right? Turns out she moved on, which is mine. I'm not like holding no frills against her or anything like that. It was just tough, and I was being tough. I was acting like, well, I'll find someone new, right? So that's when I moved back up here. Oh, it turns out I moved. It was supposed to be 5/23. I don't know what the whatchamacallit was, the year, but I moved back before my birthday, or was it after my birthday? I think it was before my birthday, and nobody ended up calling or whatever. Um, so I had to have another number anyway. So if they did call, they didn't get far. I moved back up, and I was trying to find a job, so I was constantly looking for work, looking for work. I applied to UCP, and I applied there a couple of times and never got a response. So I ended up calling. Like when you going for work, I guess they want to see initiatives. So I called there like a week following and say, yo, I dropped off my application. Someone said that they was gonna call me. What's going on? Da, 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 da. Finally got an interview. Went past the interview. Met Sophia for the first time. She said she was gonna give me the job. She gave me a good vibe that I was gonna get the job. I ended up taking the bus back. I took the train there, walked from the train station around Conqueror to Railroad. Walked to the bus just to see how to get back. Found my way back so I won't have to depend on nobody. And that was the biggest thing that I learned. One of the biggest things you should learn is never depend on someone else. Never depend on someone else with your career. Always depend on yourself. Do the work. All right. So before that, before looking for work and all that stuff, Miss Orge used to come through, and she used to give us food because we vaguely ate, you know. So she used to come through and give us food, spend time with us, you know. And she used to I used to ask her. I hate asking her for money. I hate asking anybody for money. But I used to ask her because I was like, you know, I got to get to G Unit Records because I remember I was looking at This Is 50, and 50 Cent had a little skit where he was looking outside the window, and I saw where he was because I knew he was across the street from the the the, the Madison Square Garden. So I went out there and I went inside and I was like, "Yo, is there a studio upstairs?" He was like, "Yeah, there's a studio upstairs. We have to clean it and this, that, the other." So I said, "This is the spot." Right. So then I said, "I'm playing," and I went back home after speaking to this dude, and then I went in, and then no. The next day I came back. I came with a CD, and I hit the elevator, walked in, walked past the dude, act like I worked there, and hit every floor until I think it was the third or the fourth floor. As soon as I saw the fourth floor, I see a picture of 50 Cent, and I see a big ass box. And I see like the room is closed off. There's a glass window on the left hand side as soon as you walk in, and there's a door right there, and then there's a door on that end, right there. So I dropped my CD inside the box and I left. I'm like, okay, I guess that's the way they do it. Went back downstairs, you know, left. Came back up the next day, dropped it off another CD. Dropped it off, went back downstairs, and just waited. And then I ran into one of the coordinators called Jeremy. And Jeremy, I ran to him downstairs, and I was like, no, actually, someone came up to me and it was like, yo, you going upstairs? Like, they're waiting for you. And I'm like, yeah, what for what? It's like, yeah, you supposed to be the intern, right? I was like, no. It's like, oh, my fault. I'm sorry. I was like, oh, okay, then obviously the unit has interning for him, whatever. So, went downstairs with Jeremy, met Jeremy. We had like a brief conversation. I was like, yo, here's my CD. At that time, I had the Deafy Cane. Yo, here's my CD. Check it out. It's just different. I mean, Kanye stole from me. This, that, the other, yada, yada, yada. So then, when he gave me his card, I don't know if I have his card. Let me see if I still got it. I don't think I do because I threw out that shit. But anyway, I ended up returning, and kept on doing this daily, right? But then I ran out of money. So I asked Miss Audrey for $20. My brother said there's a way to get from Long Island to Manhattan, and it's cheaper by bus. So I end up doing that daily. And I took the bus from the 40 to Babylon. Then there's a Nassau bus that goes to the mall. And there's a mall bus that goes to Hempstead. And there's a Hempstead bus that goes to Jamaica Ave. And then you walk from Jamaica Ave to the J train, and the J train takes you to 34. So that's what I did. And did that, and there was one golden day. I was doing that every day, right? There was one golden day where oh yeah, before before I learned the bus schedule and all that stuff, I was just taking LIRR, and I was taking all my money real fast, you know, all the money that I got. So at that time, I worked with Rob for the first time, and Rob paid me $100. And I was like, yo, I really don't want to take your money because you're good. I mean, you're great at what you do, but I do need it to get to, the train station, right? So my father, being as greedy as he was, you know, asked for his cut because it's in his house. So you have to give half to the house, keep the other half. So I ended up giving him half. And I was like, damn, like, I don't have a job, but you're asking for half. Another thing my father bought. But anyway, so I end up going to, that's where I met Otis. And Otis told me he was 50's cousin. Like, his grandfather and 50's grandfather is the same. 50 used to come through. So I'm like, man, this is fate, right? So just getting off that. Um, Shout out to Otis. But get off of that. The last time I went, I heard that 50 was having a talent showcase, but it's only for women. So I'm like, what the fuck, man? So I ended up going up there, and I was like, I spoke to the receptionist, and the receptionist was like, yo, can I speak to Jeremy? She's like, well, Jeremy ain't here. It's like, well, all right. Do you know when he's coming back? She's like, um, no. So I asked, can I speak to the other lady? She's like, look, the harassing of the labels is gonna end. It it ends. And all that stuff. I was like, I'm not harassing. I'm just not gonna go anywhere until I speak to someone. So that's when one of the guys came out, and there's this Spanish dude. I think his name is what's his name? What is his name? He's still down with them. He's a fat Spanish dude. So Spanish dude came out, and another guy came out. So I'm looking, I'm like, yo, I ain't come here for none of this, man. And my heart started racing because I'm like, why are these guys taking it where I'm like trying to like start something with them? I'm just coming to speak to someone and see why no one is hitting me back with my music. Like, music is good. I know it's great, you know. So the Spanish guy come out, and he's like, yo, what you want? I said, yo, I just want someone to listen to my music. It's like, yo, I'm gonna ask you this once to leave. I said, nah, I'm not going nowhere until someone tells me why my music is my music whack. He's like, so then the girl, well, she's a lesbian. She was like, yeah, he came up here and he was harassing Jeremy, and they had like a 20-minute conversation, and he always been coming up here and all that stuff. And I'm like, I'm not doing anything. And then one of the dudes in the back, I'm like, yo, listen to the way he talks. So, I was feeling discouraged because at that time I had lost my girlfriend or ex. Um, don't have no job, living at my father's place with that BS. And this is the only thing that I believe in, right? The drive. This is a sad story, yo. So, he was like, yo, I'm gonna tell you this again to get off, to leave and everything. I was like, look, I just want someone. He's like, yo, no one's trying to hear you right now, man. So he's like pressing me. And I'm like, man, I'm not even here for none of that, man. I'm just here trying to speak to someone who's willing to listen to my music. So I thought I was gonna get jumped, right? And he was like, I was like, yo, here's my music. That's all I want y'all to do is just listen to my music. All right. He's like, all right, give me the music. I'll listen to it and this, that, the other. I was like, yo, I mean, I have talent. He's like, no one give a fuck about your talent. I said, yo, you know what? Give me my fucking music back, man. So I took my music back and I left, on the elevator ride. There was one of these skateboard dudes who worked there, white guy. He was riding down. And I'm like, man, they just made themselves feel like they're the shit, you know. So I felt hurt by that, and I never went back to G Unit Records again because that line that they said no one gives a fuck about if you have talent or not. And plus, I was getting pressed by these this guy and this other guy, and everything was just like, oh, I'm supposed to be hard all the time. And I'm supposed to speak a certain way, like I'm supposed to speak hood, like that's believable. So that hurt me a lot. And I went back home. No, before I went back home, it took my heart. I'll tell you that much. Because when you get impressed by some Spanish dude and these people, and you're constantly just getting shut down and constantly getting, yo, I suggest you leave and this, that, the other. Um, it kind of takes your heart. Now your fear levels is up. You know, I didn't come there with the intent to fight or anything. I just came there to be heard. And I thought by not backing down that I would have a stronger chance of someone saying, yo, let's just hear what he got and let's see if he's whack or not. But that didn't happen. Didn't know the rules to the game, man. So I went downstairs and I went to the spot where Jeremy, where the G Unit with what is it, dude, where 50 was auditioning the G Unit staff, not the G Unit staff, the G Unit girls or whatever R&B singers. I went over there and I saw a bunch of beautiful women, and my heart was gone. I saw Jeremy. I was like, "Yo, what's up, Jeremy?" So, "Yo, what's up, Quack?" I was like, "Ain't nothing." I was like, "Yo, are they only auditioning girls?" He's like, "Yeah, man. You know, they only auditioning girls." I was like, "All right, cool." I'm pretty sure he knew the story or whatever. Someone must have called him or whatever. So that was the last time I went. I just left. Um, and I saw a bunch of guys just bagging girls, and they had to go upstairs to audition. I heard 50 wasn't even there, and that was it. I was like, you know what? I think I gotta take a loss. So I went back home, right? And I just went and crashed for the first time. And I was like, man, why is it every time that I try to audition my music, nothing goes right? You know, yeah, I started crying like a bad, like, like that part with what is it, Boys in the Hood, where the guy comes in and he's crying and he's swinging at the cops or whatever. That's where I was. I wasn't swinging at nobody. I was crying real bad, man, because I didn't have no answers. And I didn't know what to do. I just was like, man, what the fuck am I going to do with my life? I lost everything. All because of this music shit. What am I going to do? My brother said, you do it yourself. I'm like, what the fuck does that mean, man? The fuck you mean do it yourself, man? You have the music to do it yourself. I was like, you don't know the answer, don't say nothing, man. But that's too broad. Now, what the fuck do you mean doing it? And I'm like crying. I'm like, man, I'm tired of being shitted on and all this, that, the other. And on top of it with the emotions with Kim, that was released. And then the G Unit shit was released. And all the stuff balled up in one. Me not having a place, me being, I don't know, I think it was 26, losing my job. Oh, I had to be 28 or something. I don't know. I was in 20 something late. Can't remember. But I cried. And it's pretty sad, man. Like I'm reflecting and I'm remembering how I felt. But the dude, the Spanish dude, when I do meet you again, oh, it's gonna be beautiful. But the whole thing is that's when I met my first crash, and so I just thought, and I said, there's got to be a way to get in Best Buy because 88 Keys in Best Buy and Deccan Records is independent. And they keep on telling me at Best Buy, you have to be a sign artist to be in Best Buy. So I went to Best Buy the next day and I said, how can I get my CD in Best Buy? They said, oh, you can't. You have to be a sign artist. I said, that's impossible because my friend is in Best Buy right now. He's not signed to no major label. He's signed to an independent label. So then they gave me Best Buy's headquarters. So I end up calling the headquarters. And then I asked, how do I get my CD? I'm an unsigned artist. I'm an independent artist. I said, no, independent artist. I want to get my album in Best Buy. They hit me. They said, they just put, they said, okay. All of a sudden, I'm hearing automated voice telling me a website. Forgot the website, but I know that John Regional, that's the dude. I end up hitting John Regional. I thought it was gonna be expensive putting my stuff in Best Buy. Then he was like, I end up calling, and he sent me the application. And no, I went online and got the application. That's what happened. I went online, got an application. I'm reading. I'm like, man, it only costs $250, but you have to have a set fan base because they gotta be sure that your music is gonna sell out the stores. So I put on, I turn in my application, and it only costs $250, and they review your music to see if it's worth putting in Best Buy. So I sent them my application plus the $250 money order, and I sent them my album. Oh, forgot, sir, a big stop. Forgot a big point of the story. Um, before I ended up getting a job at UCP. That's the story with Sophia and all that stuff. So I ended up working at that time after, like, I went to Best Buy and found out all this information. So it made me go harder. So I ended up calling and I ended up getting the job, met up with Sophia that day. And the first day I started working, that's when I saw Rob. And I saw Rob work there. And I was looking at his name first before I saw him. I looked at his name. I was like, is this the same Robert Tunstall that I just did a song with? Well, I recorded his record, you know, and I saw him walking. I was like, yo, what's up, Rob? I was like, hey, what's up, Quack? Oh no, he said, what's up, Husam, and everything. At that time, he didn't know me as Quack. What's up, Husam, and everything. I was like, man, I didn't know you worked here. You didn't give me a job here. You knew I was looking for work. I didn't know. Rob is weird. But anyway, I found out that he did end up giving me the job, but he didn't tell me about the job, about UCP or nothing like that. But he ended up giving me the job because Sophia, he pulled both me and Rachel's application out of the 30s of applications from what he told me. Because him and Sophia is real close. So I ended up getting the interview, and she ended up hiring me, and I just started stacking my money. I didn't care about my haircut. I didn't care about nothing except getting my album pressed up by disc makers and getting it mastered by the dude who mastered Dr. Dre's, Brian Big Bass Gardner from Bernie Mastering, right? So I didn't care about nothing. I found out the price from Bernie Mastering, I forgot his last name, but I found out the price. It was 300, no, 3,400. And then to get disc makers to to press it up in the thousands, I just wanted to get 300, but they said it don't make no sense. You get 300 and you paying and you get 1,000 for like 200 extra. So I just went on the layaway plan with disc makers. I end up getting my album mastered by Brian Big Bass Gardner, and I paid my money, and they sent me the master, and I only paid 2,800, so I ended up getting the masters back. I was like, it's great because it's him, you know. So I thought that he can't do no wrong. He wouldn't mess up my sound or whatever. So I submitted my CD to whatchamacallit disc makers, and then I started putting money down, and that was 3,600 because I didn't just want a CD like this. I just didn't want just to be one page. I wanted it to have the lyrics. So it's 12 pages. You see what I'm saying? Keeps going. Keeps going. I think that's the last of it. And that's the back. See what I'm saying? So I just wanted it to have the lyrics because I heard people complaining that they can't understand me. So I just put the lyrics in there. And after I got the CD back, that's when I remember the information that I got before I got a job, which was hit up John Regional CDs, hit him up, paid the $250, submitted my album, and they said that he ended up calling me and said that do I have a fan base? I was like, no. So he was like, well, you got to prove to me that you got a fan base, because no matter if I like the album or not, I can't put it in without knowing that you have a fan base, that knowing that it's going to sell. So I'm like, man, what the fuck, man? So my album was on Dig Station. Hence, where's that shirt at? The shirt, right? Now, if anybody knows me, you know I get shirts made all the time, promoting, right? But that's before. No, this right here is what I'm talking about. Dig Station, right? So I was hitting up people and asking them to buy the album. I was telling them my album was out. Certain people did it themselves, and certain people I had to hit up. So I hit up mad people, and about 50% of those people supported. And the first week, I ended up moving 20 units, right? And online, I ended up being one of the top people to move units. Yo. So I was one of the top people on Dig Station to move units, right? So I was like, and you get all your money back. So if you sell for $9.99, you're getting a check from $9.99 coming back with Dig Station. So I just started moving units, and then I called them back a week later. I said, yo, look, I moved 50 units already, and it's online. You can check it out. And they left comments. Mad people left comments. I wish I could go back to that page and read y'all the comments, but so many people bought it, and it started getting bootlegged early. I was like, what the hell? People started burning other people's copies and all that stuff. I'm like, come on, man. I didn't mind, though, because I was just happy that someone was listening to my music. But it was messing up my chances. So I ended up calling the dude, and I said, yo, my album just moved 50 units. I exaggerated the number. In a week. Come on now. Like, what does that tell you? It's going to sell. So he's like, all right, we're going to put it in Best Buy. I said, yes. right? They said it's going to take about 2 3 weeks to get there and all that stuff. So I was like, cool. So then they end up putting it in Best Buy. And the first thing was called. Someone called me. Rachel called me, and she was like, "Yo, your album is on BestBuy.com." I was like, "Really?" And at that time, me and C. Adam made Adam apologize to him and all that stuff. And we were starting to build back our friendship. So he was like, at that time, um, she was like, "Oh, your album's in BestBuy.com." I'm sorry if I'm blanking out sometimes. um, it's hard to reflect, you know. But your album's in BestBuy.com. So I looked on it and I saw it was on BestBuy.com. So I hit up CI. I was like, "Yo, CI, my album's in BestBuy.com." So he's like, "Yeah, right." So he looked and he's like, "Yo, your shit's on BestBuy.com." So everybody's happy, whatever. I don't know. And, you know, one thing about women, when they see you doing something productive, they're very supportive all of a sudden. It's a long story with me and Rachel, but whatever. Um, so I end up getting in Best Buy, and I'm gonna stop it after I tell y'all this story because it's at 36 minutes now. I end up getting in Best Buy um, when February, and remember December 9th, I was supposed to be in Best Buy by December 9th. I end up being on shelves in February, and I was like, man, what the hell? So my CD was registered. If you scan it, scan the barcode, it registers. It still registers even though it's not being distributed no longer. But it still registers. If they still scan it, you can still buy it. But it's gonna be from my hands to yours. But then I won't be able to get the money because the guy, he shut down his whole operation from what I understand. And he's not even working with Best Buy no more. So um, it was in stores and then it was in the back. And I was like, yo, they said my CD is supposed to be here. Why isn't my CD on the shelves? I want to see qwaack. I'm from this city. I'm from Bayshore, man. I'm supposed to see my CD here. I was like, you got a CD here? I was like, yeah, scan it. So I took my CD. They scanned it. He's like, yeah, he's not lying. So they said, you know what? Let me call the manager. I spoke to the manager. The manager was like, yo, I'm going to check for you and this, that, the other. Trust me, your CD will be up and on the shelves and all that stuff. So one guy was like, yo, you really got your CD in here? I was like, yeah, man. Yeah, I'm from Bayshore. You know, I'm doing it. Like, I'm putting it out there and everything. And he's like, yo, that's cool, man. Like, I'm definitely look out for your CD, and I'm gonna find it for you, man, because they saying it's got to be here, just got to be here. So he ends up calling me. He's like, "Yo, qwaack, I found your CD. It was in the back in the corner." It's like in the back in the corner. Okay, cool, man, whatever. So he said, "I'm gonna put it in the news section, like where it's the new CDs. I'm gonna put it right there where it's all the new CDs that came out." It's like cool. So I went there and I bought my own CD. Rob bought one and someone else bought one. I don't know who the third person was because there's only 3 CDs in that store at that time. While in Holbrook, there was mad CDs because I was hand delivering it to Holbrook. So it was mad CDs at that time in that store. It's like over 100. And they put up a whole section, white neighborhood versus black neighborhood. They put up my whole section in the news section. They gave me my own section in the stands. They didn't have my name or yet, but they end up getting my name up and all that stuff first. So went back. It takes 3 weeks to re-up the CDs that sells out. Listen to this, right? 3 weeks to re-up CDs that sells out. So I said, you know what? I got CDs. Can I just drop them off here? They said, no, we're not allowed to do that and this, that, the other. While in the white neighborhood, they allowed me to drop off 200 CDs over there. So Anyway, I wonder if it's up still over there. It might be. I put there. They got my posters over there. These people in Bayshore, black people are so competitive. So I always wanted to see my name next to Jay-Z on the the CD section, the rap section. I was like, man, my name's gonna be Quack and Jay-Z and Q-Tip and this one and that one and da da da. I'm gonna see my name. It took a month and a half for them to have my name up. While in the white neighborhood, my name was up in like a week. So I was like, man, this is ridiculous, man. In Bayshore, the place that I'm from, I'm not getting no support, right? So I'm gonna stop it right there because it's 40 minutes. I don't know if YouTube's gonna upload it.